Welcome to Subscription Prescription, the podcast where you get the information you need to scale your subscription program. Welcome to another dose of Subscription Prescription, the podcast where we help you figure out everything related to D2C subscriptions. This week's dose is a special one because we're going to be talking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday as it relates to subscriptions. If you're in the D2C space, you're probably starting to see the onslaught of playbooks, guides, lists, checklists coming out for how you can be successful on Black Friday, Cyber Monday this year. And we're no different. But the difference with what I'm about to share with you now is we're going to try to keep things a little short and sweet for you so that you can digest this. It can help address some of your strategy concerns and some common questions. Now, when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, one of the things that I think it is important to remember in the subscription business is that you will often see an influx in subscribers around this time period, and that also as December and January rolls around, you are going to see an increase in churn, right? You're going to get a lot of people that are buying your products aspirationally, this is interesting, or as gifts for other people. And so converting those people into long-term subscribers is a bit tricky, and it's not always that doable. But let's talk about some of the strategies as it relates to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So the first things first is when we're talking about marketing, okay? And one of the biggest questions we get all the time relates to how do I market to new customers so that I don't essentially upset my existing subscribers. So for example, if you were going to do a special offer like 50% off the entire site, you might have a ton of people that are sitting on a 20% off subscribe and save. They're going to cancel and go buy from your website, right? That's a very, very common thing. Additionally, you might have thinking about special offers to convert people to new subscriptions, right? So you might say, hey, we're going to do 50% off your first 2 orders if you subscribe today. Again, you might lose a lot of existing subscribers. They're going to come and take that offer. So when you're thinking through offers for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when we're thinking about discounts and specials and things like that, I want you to take a step back and just think about a couple of things really, really clearly. The first is you already have an existing subscriber base that is loyal to you and that loves you, okay? So we want to make sure that we're thinking through offers that are going to work for them. The second thing I want to throw out there is that a lot of these new subscribers you're going to get aren't always the best long-term, right? BFCM is often a cash grab. We're trying to get as many people as we can, hoping that people stick around. We'll talk more about why doesn't have to be just hope with some of the tactics, but it's not always this, if you go all or nothing, where we're doing this entire thing, you're going to bring a ton of people in, kill a bunch of margin, and potentially kill a bunch of margin with your existing subscribers. So one of the things that I always recommend is thinking through a practical offer strategy that works for people that are new to the brand versus people that have been with the brand for a while. And the way that you can get ahead of this is thinking through something as simple as, okay, for existing customers, I don't want to do this 50% off site-wide might work for everybody. And you might even try it on your first order for subscriptions, for example, right? So new people coming in 50% off site-wide. You could go a couple different approaches. So for existing subscribers, you could just let them know that you're applying that discount to them, okay? Now, a lot of you are probably thinking that's a horrible idea. That's fine. We're going to go a little bit deeper here. The next thing is to start thinking through offers that are going to be appealing to subscribers. So for example, you could be looking at upsells or a quarterly offer where, hey, you're on a monthly subscription. We're going to give you 50% off a bundle offer for the next 3 months that is not available anywhere on our site for new customers. We're offering that only for existing subscribers. The other thing is to think about more about gifts and your existing catalog, right? So like you might be offering any existing subscriber as a Black Friday special. You're going to offer them, say, 75% off the rest of the store or 60% off the rest of the store. You're giving them a discount for add-ons and other items that you offer that is going to be better than what you're giving to cold traffic or new traffic that you've been warming up specifically for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, for BFCM, right? So again, we're thinking about how to protect that subscriber base, but also give them offers that are going to get them to spend more. Because the scenario you don't want to have is somebody's got an existing subscription. They see a better deal on the site. They're just going to cancel their subscription and go pick that up and start a new one, right? You're giving away margin. While you don't necessarily really lose somebody net in the long term, nobody's really happy here. The customer feels a little bit annoyed that they have to go and do that because of the holiday special. You're annoyed because it makes your churn look bad and you just gave up margin. So think through strategies about how you can engage existing subscribers with offers that will get them to spend more, that are going to negate any potential impact from churn or any offer that is going to exist on the website already. Okay, so hope all that makes sense. A really simple tactic to do as well as on the cancellation flow is you can offer people whatever that website offer is. So for example, if you're doing 50% off site wide, you could just offer a 50% off coupon code over that same holiday period to keep somebody from canceling. So we've done this with a couple of brands where we'll say, I'm canceling for a better offer on the site. And then we're going to say, hey, it's 50% off site wide right now. We get that you want that. Here's a 50% off code for your next order, right? Or again, you could get something a little bit, swap to this different offer or item or an add-on in addition to that. But that is something you can put in the cancellation flow. And again, I think if you're just thinking through from a standpoint of what's an offer we can give people that makes them feel special. So, and you can put this into your billing reminders leading up to Black Friday or specific campaigns about trying to show somebody, hey, this is the best offer we're offering this holiday season, and it's only for existing subscribers. We're going to be doing 50% off site wide, but for you, we've got this. Okay, now the next piece is when we're talking about how we're onboarding these people. Again, I do want to point out that in general, from really, really large sales and sales periods like BFCM, you're going to see a lot of less quality subscriber come in, right? They're enticed by the discount. They're enticed by the time of year. They're going to try something out, but maybe they're not super serious about it, as opposed to say in March, somebody's like researching your product and they're really interested about it and trying it. It's very scientific for them to do that. BFCM is often you get a lot more people that are just feeling the holiday season about spending, gifts, that kind of thing. So the thing that you want to make sure that you have nailed down, ready for BFCM, is going to be your onboarding process. How you're engaging with people right away, educating them on the product, challenging them to use the product right away. And then I would look at additional engagement opportunities with additional emails, right? 2 weeks, 3 weeks in before they're getting a renewal. That's, again, engaging with them, educating with them, showing how other people are benefiting, how other people are using it, how your product can be life-changing. You could look at using something like a postcard, like with Postpilot, sending a mailer, making sure they're using the product. The biggest thing is trying to get them to use the product. Use the product, make it a part of their lifestyle, their routine. That's going to do a ton to help mitigate churn as from an ongoing standpoint. So that, yes, you saw a huge influx of subscribers. You gave away a ton of margin. You want to make sure that you can hold on to as many people as possible. The other piece of this is just a word of caution is when you're modeling your acquisition strategy, don't use your typical LTV and CAC to LTV ratios around BFCM because it just doesn't work. Your costs for acquiring a customer are going to go up. You're going to be losing out on a lot of margin. If you're usually dependent on like a second or third order for profitability when it comes to subscribers, BFCM can be really, really dangerous for you because you actually might sell out a ton and then your churn is going to be a lot higher than it would normally be. And so it's going to actually kind of upend the apple cart when it comes to how you're modeling that financial payback period. And then after that, look at, if you're in the wellness space, look at January as a really, really great opportunity to re-engage with anybody that's canceled or churned. January is a great month. People are going to the gym. They're trying to change their life around, lose weight, all these things. So if you're a supplement, a wellness supplement, it's a great time to be looking at offers to win people back, to get people to try your product again, especially anybody that churned in December or earlier in the year. But that's another great opportunity to get them. Then the final thing is just looking at both your cancellation flow to see if there's any opportunities there for how you're trying to stop people from leaving, but the billing reminder. That's the biggest other place you want to spend time on. So you've got your offer strategy on the site, you've got your onboarding welcoming email series, and then we're looking at billing reminders. So a billing reminder is really going to be kind of like that last touch point before they might potentially cancel. Make sure you're delivering value, you're explaining the product, you're talking about the tens of thousands of other people that are using your product and how it's changing their life. make sure that you're kind of hitting on some of that FOMO. Again, driving value before you necessarily say, hey, you can cancel your subscription here. Okay, so that's the tips for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. The first thing, again, to remember is looking through specific offers for subscribers. And while I wouldn't necessarily do the exact same thing I'm doing on the website, say like the website's 50% off, subscribers are 60% off, I would like for you to think about maybe there's some bundle opportunities or add-on opportunities that are really, really aggressive that make people feel valued for being a subscriber. That should be the mentality, is making the subscribers feel valued so that the discount or anything else they see on the site isn't going to be as appealing to them. Look at how you're onboarding people, make sure you're getting them using the product as quickly as possible. Then we're looking at our cancellation flow and billing reminder to make sure that they're up to snuff and ready to deal with a lot more people that are trying our product for the first time as subscribers. All right, that's it for this week's dose. I hope that you learned a lot from this, and I want to wish you all a lot of good luck. And I know how stressful the upcoming weeks are. So if you have any questions or want any feedback on anything, just please let me know. You can drop in the comments, or you can reach out to us through our website, or my email is matt@thesubscriptiondoc.com. Stay tuned. I'll see you next week. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe so that you can get notified when new episodes come out each week on Tuesdays.